Hey everybody, I'm David with Bolivar Live, and we're winding down 2025, fixing to take the leap of faith into 2026. Christmas is come and gone, Thanksgiving's come and gone, Christmas is come and gone. Now we're looking towards New Year's Eve, and then before we know it, Mardi Gras will be here.
So fun.
But as we wind down 2025, man, there's been a lot's happened this year.
It's been a while.
We've changed some of the policies, things have changed. But one of the things that's it's still grown, in fact, it may be evening off a little bit, is homes for sale and some of the negativity. In fact, there's a realtor over, I don't know where he's at, on the mainland somewhere that's talking
Houston.
about, oh, it's just crashing. You don't want to do
the
that.
housing bubble. It's the 2008 repeated all over again.
It's
no,
not,
it's not.
though.
No, it's not.
And
No,
I
it's
mean, I'm not even in the real estate business, but I can tell you it's not. And I'm going to give you my opinion on this real quick. The pandemic hit. People couldn't travel. They bought travel trailers, and they bought the hell out of beach houses, which the only thing I learned in government when I was in high school was supply and demand. And when the supply is down, the demand's up, prices go up. And there were a lot of people that bought houses with sight unseen, sent in the offer. Not just at the beach, everywhere. And they paid too much. In fact, I saw some houses down here that were probably going for $150, $165 a square foot more. Now, when you figure in a 14 or 2,500 square foot house, that adds up. Well, then, we had a talk about someone talking about the short-term rental. And I think some people jumped in on that quick money. One thing I have learned,
there's no such thing as quick
there's no such thing as quick, easy money.
No.
And so now we're in the housing market. Is it bad? No.
No.
Because if you're a buyer,
oh my gosh, you have choices.
Right.
We haven't had choices in years.
I was going to say,
choices.
The most homes on the market I remember at one point was 180, I think, or 184 on Bolivar. And we're at what?
We're over 400.
400,
We've
500.
been rocking all year back and forth between 400 and 500.
And some of those are probably just on the market to see what they can get, because we always have those down here. Yeah, I'll sell my house, but I want this.
Well, and a lot of them are income producing.
Right.
So
a lot of them are rentals that people. And
so a couple of things happen with that. When you come to tour houses, you can't always get into those houses to see them because they're occupied.
Right. They're in short-term
rental. So they take a little bit longer because I'm in town. And that happened when I came. Mm-hmm. And there was a house I really wanted to get into, but it was occupied, and I was not going to plan another trip to come back.
Right.
I like the house. I picked it.
I was going to say, you got a pretty sweet house anyway.
I have a really nice house, yes. Anyway, but so there's a factor that you have to keep in mind. So some houses sit longer on the market simply because they're not accessible.
Right.
Which is a conversation I have when we're listing houses all the time. The other thing is investors, we've talked about this several times this year, that investors have they're looking at it from a different mindset.
Right.
They're putting a house on the market, they're seeing what happens, it's on their books, they have a certain time frame, this time frame is hit, now it's time to sell the house.
Right.
But as long as the house is bringing income in, they're not
in any
hurry. They're not going to negotiate as much. They're making their money. They know their plan. They know what they need to get out of that house to move on to the next one.
Right. Because a lot of them roll that money into
they do. They're
house.
just going to roll it into another house, whether it's here or someplace else. They're rolling that money into something else, another project. So that's one of the reasons our market appears to be so flooded.
Right.
Now, there are deals happening. Are they happening as quickly as they were in 22 and 21? No. But that's true everywhere.
But there's some people down here now that need to sell their house. And that's where you really need to look and say, okay, how long has it been on the market? what's the wording in the write-up? You know,
Yeah.
what's happening?
So there are people that need to sell. Okay.
Right.
And a lot of times it's kind of hard. They've changed the rules on how we can write things in our descriptions so that we're not giving away too much or taking advantage of somebody, right? So it's a little bit hard to tell, but you can usually, a realtor can call another realtor and go, hey, I have a client interested in this house. And in the gist of the conversation, you start to realize, oh, this person really needs to get out of this house.
Yeah, they want to sell it.
And there are some tools we can use to find out. They're not always accurate, but sometimes you can use some different tools that will show you the mortgage on the house or how much they paid for the house. A lot of times you can go back and see they bought it in 23 and they paid this much. And now they have it for sale for this much, and you can do the math and go, you know, we have calculators that help figure out maybe what the mortgage payments were.
Right.
There's different ways to do it. But more importantly, I think we have to understand is most of the people who buy second homes, they're not mortgaged to the hilt. And this is where people make mistakes. This is where the negativity comes in, the ads that, oh my God, it's a total crash, and Galveston and the Peninsula are going to be underwater, and you're going to, you know, the whole market, it's just going to be a disaster. It's going to be 2008 on the Peninsula. And it's not though. Because remember, in order to qualify to buy a second home, you have to have funds.
Right.
You have to have money to back that mortgage.
Right.
Okay. And you also have to have a bigger down payment. So you're not at a zero down payment. You're not at, we have no equity in this house. They have equity in the house from the day they buy it.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Because of the way it's scheduled. The other thing is, if you look at the statistics of who's been buying houses from 22 forward, even though mortgages were at 1.75, 2%, most of those mortgages they weren't mortgages. Most of those deals were cash deals.
Okay.
So when the stock market during the COVID was so bad, people were just pulling funds out.
And using the cash instead of.
So the houses aren't necessarily underwater.
Right.
They don't have to get out of it.
They just are ready
are ready to get out of it. They don't want the stress of the house that has caused them some little anxiety. They don't want to sacrifice other places because they've got payments on this house, or they just haven't used the house.
I was going to say, that's what a
lot
of
people come, and they think they're going to come every weekend, and they think, and then
they figure out, man,
well,
it's
life
really
changes.
Yeah.
And we talked about this at the last show with the 50-year mortgage, when you're buying with the idea of retirement, and then retirement happens, like, okay,
things change.
You have grandkids, and all of a sudden the grandkids are on the football team, or in the cheerleading squad, or the dance, and so you want to be back. You're here on the beach, and you want to be back there with the kids. And so all of a sudden that retirement dream
changes.
The dream changes. So 2026, I think is going to be a fabulous year.
Well, and the thing I wanted to get across was, if you have been thinking about a beach house or an investment property, now is a really good time to buy and a great time to look, but do your homework. Have a realtor that's going to work for you. She represents you. She needs to tell you what they're going on a house equivalent to this. This is what it sold, one sold for, or what they're going for. You need to look if it's an income property, how many times it rented during the year, what they were
you
getting.
get their profit and loss statements.
So all that, and make an educated decision, because I think during the pandemic there were a lot of uneducated. It was impulse buying, and I'm the worst about impulse. You put me in a camera shop,
there were a lot of
and I'm
people
going to buy
looking.
something.
They were afraid that their source of income was going away.
Right.
So they were looking for another source of income, and for whatever reason, we decided that short-term rentals were going to be what they called mailbox money. And okay, well, that's just not true.
Well, for more information, and we've got some things coming up in 2026 that we're going to be able to do with the new website, keeping you informed on stuff, maybe getting you home values and stuff. And so I'm excited about it once we start getting it rolled out in February probably. We're hoping to launch the new website in the middle of December. I'm leaving on the 20th, or I'm gone right now because this shows the 29th.
You gotta cut that
I'm
out.
gone
You're
and
gone.
up at my mom's or just coming back. And so we're looking forward to 2026 and really talking about what's happening in the housing market. So Beth, thanks for joining us. Until next time, Y'all have a great New Year's Eve. God bless, and bye-bye. Video equipment is sponsored by Crystal Beach Decor and More, located at 1959 Highway 87 in Crystal Beach, Texas, and Beachy Beatnik Boutique and Jewelry, located at 970 Surfside and Highway 87 in Crystal Beach, Texas. Thank you to these two businesses for being our 2025 video equipment sponsor for Bolivar Live.